What is going on, guys? It's been a while. Not gonna lie, but let's get back into the Journey to National Master. Let's see if this time I can actually make more than one video per month. We'll see. I can't promise anything anymore. I will not promise, but let's see. So this was round 5 of Torneio de Honra 2024. We are still in 2024, still covering games from 2024. That's crazy. We are already in 2026 and I'm still covering games from 2024, but there's only a couple left. And in this round, it was a very special round for me because I was playing Carlos Dias, a legend in Portuguese chess, is one of the best arbiters in the world, and he actually was part of the arbiter team in the 2013 candidates tournament, the legendary tournament that qualified Magnus to play Vichy Anand for the world title. So let's see how the game went. Enough yapping, and I opened with e4. My opponent went g6, which surprised me a lot, like the modern. Okay, it will be a big fight. d4, bishop g7, knight c3, d6, and now I went for bishop e3. Very simple developing moves. My opponent goes knight bd7, which already like surprises me a lot. I played knight f3, and yeah, normal developing move, knight f6, and here I played h3 to stop any knight g4. My opponent castled. I played queen d2, and my opponent went c6. Here I played bishop d3, which it's already a bit awkward. If I was playing it today, I would probably have played a4, and yeah, just to stop b5, to be a little bit annoying. But here I played bishop d3, and now it allows b5 for black to gain some space here. And I went castles short. With this expansion on the queen side, I didn't want to just castle my king directly into the attack. And now my opponent plays bishop uh, b7, and here I make the first mistake of the game. I actually play knight e2, and this is a big blunder. Actually, gives black an opportunity to just be better, be quite a bit better. And here, if you want to spot the winning move, not winning, but the move that gives black a big advantage here, you can pause the video and try to find it. And so the move here that my opponent missed, my opponent played a6, which, yeah, it's just a nothing move. It just doesn't do anything. Um, I guess it protects b5, but here my here b5 is already protected, so don't need to go a6. But actually here, maybe my opponent had the right idea, but he actually the good move is c5 directly. And maybe my opponent was afraid that I took this pawn on b5, but taking this pawn on b5 is not a big deal compared to actually black taking the central pawn on e4, and now I'm in big trouble here. I have to move the queen, and all of a sudden this bishop will be very powerful. This bishop isn't doing much here, and this knight is fantastic here. So yeah, my opponent missed this. Also, I don't have time to go knight g3 because of c4, and I'm losing even more time here. And again, this bishop has to move, and I'll lose the pawn on e4. So yeah, c5 would have been an amazing move by my opponent, but I guess he missed that, and he played a6, which, yeah, maybe prepare c5, but now I have time to go knight g3, which was my idea, and now c5 is not as strong as I can always play c3 to reinforce the d4 pawn in the center, and this is what happened actually here. My opponent closed with c4, which I was happy to see. Bishop c2, and now, like, I have a very solid center. I have more space. Yeah, this knight doesn't have anywhere to go. This knight as well, and this bishop is kind of locked. So yeah, I guess I have a good advantage here. And here my opponent plays knight e8, and it's already a bad sign when you have to do such retreating moves. So I was starting to feel good about my position. Here I just brought a rook to the game. Very nice. There's rook a1, just improving my piece. He played knight c7 here, and here I played bishop h6. I think this was fantastic. I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that he moved one of his king side defenders to the queen side, and I still don't really know what this knight is doing here that he couldn't do on f6. So why is this knight better here? But yeah, bishop h6, I think it's very nice to just pressure his king. He played e6, and here I am very proud that I played h4. This is very thematic, like he has only one minor piece around his king. I want to open things up, and there's always these tricks of going h5 and opening the h file for my pieces, and yeah, I was feeling very good here. My opponent went back from c7 to e8, and yeah, this is a bad sign. This is a sign that you don't really know what you're doing, and yeah, I was feeling very, very good at this moment. Here I played h5, just continuing the thematic push of the h pawn here to pressure the king side. He went knight f6, and here I played bishop g5, pin this knight here, and yeah, he can't really take here. He can't play h6 because of this battery, so yeah, I'm doing fantastic here. He played queen c7 here, and yeah, here I took on g6. He took back with f pawn, which is risky, but also opens up his rook, so it's double edged. And here I played bishop h6, which it's kind of weird to go from g5 to h6 again. Um, yeah, I don't like this move. I think I should probably try to improve the piece that I haven't touched this game, which is just the f1 rook. I should have just played rook e1. I think it's like a very natural move, and it can't be bad to just, you know, put this rook defending the e4 pawn and eventually maybe supporting a push. But yeah, I played bishop h6. He played knight g4, which is a nice move, activating his knight. I took the bishop on g7. He took back with the knight, and here I played queen g5. Okay, attacking the knight on g4. It goes back to f6, and here I played rook e1. So okay, I'm not mad at this move. I think it's a nice move. Just developing. Queen f7, and now like it starts getting tricky. I start getting a little bit afraid of this pressure and an eventual king side counterattack. And yeah, I just didn't know what to do here because in this type of positions, like there's always these breaks that either one of us can do, but you have to calculate it properly, and if you're not sure it works, you should probably avoid it. Like d5 makes some sense because I'm blocking this bishop up, but after e5, how do I progress? Uh Again, I'm blocking my own bishop as well. I'm blocking this bishop, but this bishop can go to c8 and g4. Meanwhile, this bishop can't really do much, and even in the future, this c5 square gets weakened. So yeah, it's not good. Also, e5 is probably not good because it opens this bishop up, and maybe there's already tactics like bishop takes on f3. I have to take with the pawn, and this is very, very ugly. So yeah, I didn't want to touch my pawn, so I ended up playing b3, which is actually a move that I'm very proud that I played. b3 makes sense. Like if I'm not gonna break with d5 or e5, I need to look for other ways to open the position. And b3 I think makes a lot of sense because if he takes, my idea was to take with the bishop, of course, and now my bishop all of a sudden is very active, and my center still is very stable. So here my opponent actually played rook a8, and I took on c4, and I activated my rook. So I'm very proud of this plan that I found. I took some time to do it, to play b3, but yeah, very nice. Just trying to play on both sides of the board, king side and queen side. And all of a sudden, all my opponent's pieces are on the king side, and this bishop is kind of feeling a bit lonely and vulnerable. So okay, here my opponent played rook e7, protecting the bishop on b7. I played rook b6. Here I missed an important resource with e5. But again, it was hard to see because of bishop takes on f3. But here it doesn't work that well because bishop takes on f3. I don't have to take back the bishop. I can actually take on f6. And now this is a double attack. Queen takes, rook takes, and here I'm just up a piece. So yeah, I'm winning. So yeah, actually here e5 would have been very nice because my opponent would have to take with the pawn, and now I take with the knight and I'm attacking the queen, which has to go to e8, doesn't have any other square, and now I can take the pawn on c4. So here I would be just a clean pawn up with a very, very nice attack coming. So yeah, I missed this opportunity, missed chance. But actually, the engine loves my move as well that I played, which is very, very simple. Just rook b6. I'm attacking the pawn on d6, and I'm threatening to double the rooks on the b file. Here, my opponent defends the knight on, defends the pawn on d6. Excuse me, with knight back to e8, and I just double the rooks. He plays rook d7 here. I guess he's just waiting, waiting for me to break and to try to push forward. Here, of course, I'm on the driver's seat, but I still need to find something that either wins material or just, transforms the position into something more clear. Here, bishop a4 felt very natural, just attacking the rook that just came here. My opponent plays rook c7, and here I play rook b2. I think rook b1 to b2 is a very nice move, actually. It's just very, very nice touch because in the future I want to move this knight somewhere, maybe h4, maybe g5, maybe e5, and but I always have to be careful about this f2 pawn. But with rook b1 to b2, I protect the pawn on f2. I still put pressure on the bishop, and my position is so good here that I have time to make this, like, slow moves. So yeah, here my pawn plays a knight from e8 to f6, and here is attacking this pawn on e4, and I go back with the bishop to defend it. And it's funny because, like, recently I've heard Magnus say that weak players, when the opponent makes a threat, they defend it, but good players actually make their own threats to counterattack. And here bishop c2 is not horrible. I'm just making a very logical move, but it's slow, and I had a way better idea to play, not to play queen g6, to play queen h6 here, actually, because this pawn is a bit taboo. If my opponent goes for it and decides to take the pawn on e4 twice, I have this excellent move, knight g5. I'm forking the bishop and the queen, and I'm threatening checkmate in one, and my opponent would have to play something like knight f5 here, and I can just go back still. This is a threat, this is a threat, and my opponent is just losing a piece here. So yeah, this would have been very nice, but yeah, I just quickly defended the pawn on e4. My opponent went knight back to e8, so he's just going back and forth. Like, I felt like here maybe he offered the draw. I know he offered a draw somewhere, maybe it was here. I think it would make sense for him to, like, try to repeat position and offer a draw, but I declined the draw. I wanted to fight for the win. Of course, I knew that I was much better, but I just needed to find something that I just needed to find a path forward here, which I was struggling. But yeah, here I played bishop e1. I refused the draw, and my opponent went bishop c8. I went e5 finally. Now that he moved the bishop from this diagonal, I felt like it was a good time to push e5. And my opponent closed with d5, and here, I mean, I'm just, like, completely winning, honestly. Like, now this bishop is literally out of the game forever. Like, look at the difference between minor piece quality. Just look at these knights, look at my knights, and just the rooks here super active. And yeah, all his minor pieces are on the 7th and 8th rank. So yeah, now it's just trying to find something that wins material and just simplifies the position into a win. But I was struggling with that. Here I played bishop c2. My opponent played rook b7, so he kind of got impatient a little bit and decided to trade some pieces, which makes sense when you have less space. You want to trade pieces, so I kind of understand his decision here. I took on b7 and then I infiltrated with the queen. But now looking at this move, I don't know what I would have actually done after knight c7. This seems uncomfortable attacking the queen here. But maybe just like going back with the queen, my opponent played queen f4, which threatened to come to c1. Here, you know, fortunately for me, I had a very simple move to make, which was knight e2, just attacking the queen, and now it feels like black needs to go back, which is definitely not what he wants. But here my opponent decided to stay, and he played queen g4, which is threatening to take the knight because of the pin here. I played knight g3, already with the idea that if my opponent tries to repeat, of course I don't want to draw, I would play queen g5, which is just an inferior move, but it just threatens to trade the queens, and if I can trade queens, I think I still keep a lot of pressure in the position. But my opponent just doesn't want to trade. He goes back to f7 with uh, the queen, and he's being very resilient and annoying, which it is what he should do. I go back to e3, and my opponent plays bishop c6, and I go queen h4. Like, I also don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just going queen e3, queen h4, queen f4. Like, I'm panicking totally, and I don't know what I should do. Here, my opponent plays knight f5, which it is a blunder. Here, I take with the bishop, which is fine, and now my opponent takes with the g pawn here and allows me to play knight g5. And here, I just took a huge breath because I thought, okay, there's no way that I'm drawing. I have to be winning because this pawn is attacked and I'm attacking the queen. So yeah, I'm just winning the e6 pawn and I'm just winning the game. And my opponent played queen g7. And here I was like ready to just take on e6 with check. But for some reason I stopped to think, wait, maybe I can just take the queen on g7, and after king takes, I just take here and I'm winning because I just win the exchange and I'm totally winning. And of course, this is totally winning, but what I missed in the game, because I actually ended up incredibly taking on g7, I just missed that my opponent can just take back with the knight and like he's defending e6. And now, like, I was shocked. I was like, did I just blunder away all my advantage? Because now it's not so clear. Like, I'm not winning no pawn, and yeah, material is equal. And I was like shocked that I did this. But yeah, I mean, it's just so simple. Yeah, I really need to work on this, like, just simple calculation exercise, because this is like, it's ridiculous how much it happens to me and how many times I just screw up games because I just can't calculate basic tactics. So yeah, I really need to work on that, and I've been saying it for a while, but yeah, it's just getting out of hand right now. But yeah, queen e6, just, I mean, even like, okay, this might seem a bit tricky because this knight is hanging, but even this, like, this has to be winning. Like, come on, rook b8, you know, I played rook b6 attacking the bishop. F4, here my opponent played this move. I just calculated a little bit, and I just didn't know why my opponent was giving me like a free pawn, because now I take the bishop, pawn takes knight, and I just take the pawn, and I'm attacking e6, I'm attacking a6, and I'm just up a pawn. So I was like, what? Is my pawn also trolling? He played rook b8. Here I just took on a6. He played knight f5, and here I thought that maybe he's trying to some mating ideas with knight e3, knight g4, and rook b1, checkmate. So I just decided to take the pawn on e6 because it still takes some time to go here, and this pawn is very important. And now my pawn takes on g3. I was happy that he took there because Now I don't have to worry about much, but still I actually went rook a3, which is a bit unnecessary, you know. But I was trying to protect the c3 pawn, because if it takes the c3 pawn and then this pawn starts rolling, it gets a little bit tricky. So I decided to just play a slow move and defend c3. And here my opponent started like pushing his h pawn, and I was like, I don't understand it. Going king f2, I just want to dodge, all the checkmate threats that might happen. And here my opponent plays h4, and I just activate my king. I just bring my king closer to the center and just up the board, just activate the king in the end game. And here my opponent played rook b2. I played knight f4, and now I'm ready to start pushing this pawn. I'm threatening d5. I'm also defending any like uh, ideas on the g2 pawn, and my opponent here actually resigned, and I won the game. And what a messy game, honestly. Like, damn, I was very happy to get the win, of course, get my second win of the turn, but it wasn't clean at all. Like, it was not good chess from both of us, for sure. But okay, we get the win, which is very nice, and it was a pleasure to play Carlos Diaz. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys for the next game. Bye bye.